A triangulated irregular network, or TIN mesh, is a representation of the surface of the terrain based on a set of points. If you have a site recorder file on hand, you can import the spot levels from that file to instantly create a TIN mesh in the drawing area. We're going to insert a terrain file into Envisioneer to show how this is done. To do this, we're going to go up, we're going to select underneath the Terrain tab, we can select the Import Site Data button, or underneath the Insert menu, under Terrain, you can select Import Site Data. This will bring up a dialog letting you know that you are going to be converting your terrain into a TIN mesh. We're going to say OK to this. We're then going to be prompted to specify the file that we want to use. And in this case, we're going to select our Browse button. And then we're going to go to the location of where the file is. And we're going to check and see what file type we're going to be importing. There are a bunch of different file types available for you to import. The file type that I'm going to be using in today's lesson is going to be the XYZ file format. I'm then going to select that file, and I'm going to select Open. This will populate the preview area showing me all the different points. And I should be seeing an X, a Y, and a Z, and I should be seeing point values in each of those columns. If I do not see a value in each column, then I know I need to change the delimiter. So in this case, it's set to a comma delimiter file. I'm going to change it to be a space delimiter file. Depending on the type of file you have, you may need to choose a different option from here. This particular file is a space delimited file, and I can now see that I have a value in X, Y, and Z. I'm going to press Next, and that's going to bring us to our units and special items. This is where you can define the units for the TIN terrain that you're going to be importing. Our file is going to be in feet, so I'm going to select the feet option, and then I'm going to select Next. This will now bring us to the Insert Point and Cropping page, and this is where we can define exactly how we want this terrain to be imported into our design. So we can see that the width and the height are already established for us based on the fact that we've set it to feet. We're also seeing a maximum Z value, a minimum Z value, and a grade level. These values indicate the above sea level heights that this site was recorded at. So the highest point on this site is 227 feet high. The lowest point on this terrain is 217 feet 2 inches. Our grade level is going to be populated for us at that lowest point. And this is where it will be inserted in relation to the above sea level. So by default, in our document settings, we have our grade level set to 0 inches. When we import this site data in, it's going to populate that to be 217 feet, again showing us the above sea level value. So I'm going to leave that value as it is. I'm now going to adjust the angle. I want this to sit upright on my screen, so I'm going to select my angle that I want to adjust. So I'm going to click on the option here to select my 2 points, and I'm going to select from here to here, and that's going to give me the angle of that terrain, and I'm going to make that set to 0. I want that to be flat, so I'm then going to say OK. When I do that, it's going to automatically adjust that angle for us, and that's going to be the angle it needs to rotate to make that value 0. We also have a crop box option. I can crop out a portion of this terrain if I only want to insert a piece of it. We're going to insert the whole thing, so I'm just going to keep that set to not including a crop box. We also have an insertion point option. This is the ability to insert based off of a point on the mesh of the terrain that you're inserting. You can specify any point that you want to by simply selecting the Set button and selecting a point on the mesh. If you don't select anything, it will automatically insert it based on the center of the mesh, and that's what I'm going to use. We also have a move to origin option, and this option will allow you to move the insertion point to the original mesh point of the file itself. Again, I'm just going to insert this based on the middle, and now I'm just going to select finish. Now when I zoom out, I can see that all I have to do is left click once, and it's going to insert that terrain based on the insertion point, which is the middle. And I can see the size of the terrain in my drawing. If I zoom in, I can see the actual contours and I can see the actual elevation points. So here we can see we're at 224 feet high, and over here where I'm actually going to be designing or drawing my house, I can see that the actual heights are 222 feet. So what I want to do here is I want to edit the actual base level for this terrain. To do that, I'm going to go into Settings, Document Settings, and under Terrain, it's going to show me my grade level. And again, by default, I set it to be at the very minimum. And once it was inserted, I realized I know that where I'm going to be designing this house is going to be at a height of 222 feet. So I'm just going to type in 222 feet, and that will change where I'm going to be inserting all of my walls in this particular design. Also in this area, I have a tin smoothing option. And this is going to give me the ability to adjust how smooth the terrain is. This will adjust the triangulated mesh to be a little bit more smoother, so it's not so coarse and jagged when I'm looking at it in 3D. Just be aware that the more fine that you make it, the more geometry that you're adding, so it will increase in file size. So just again, keep that in mind as you adjust it, and then you can say apply and then OK. That will adjust the terrain for us. And now when I go to add in my walls, and I just drop in some walls into my design in the middle here, we're going to be able to see when I go into a 3D view that the terrain is now showing all of the contours, and my building is now going to sit right on top of the terrain. We hope this tooltip helps you moving forward. If you like what we are creating, be sure to like and subscribe for future videos. If you have any comments, please let us know in the comment section below. Thank you.